In this video, I'll show you how I painted up these wolves from the Return to Dark Tower board game. Hello, my name is Spencer and I'm trying to become a better mini painter and diorama maker, and this giant box is my recent wife's favorite board game. This monster of a box comes in at about a half cubic foot, and it even came out with this expansion, which includes 69 miniatures that my wife asked to help paint them up to make her games a bit more immersive. So this video serves a bit as the kickoff of the Dark Tower mini painting series I'll be doing over the next while, that I'll splice into my regularly scheduled other mini painting projects. This expansion comes with 8 wolves. As in the game, they do tend to create a pack mentality and spawn in around the map and hunt you down. Overall, each of these minis look really good and I'm very excited to paint them up. The only downside is that these minis come with pretty flat bases, so I wanted to build them up using some AK small flat rocks and some earth texture from Vallejo. To start it off, I just made sure to cover the entire base in the texture. Then I took some of the flat rocks and let them fall randomly across the base, just trying to make irregular patterns. Then, to make sure the rocks are integrated with the terrain a bit more, I took the back end of a toothpick and pushed them down before the terrain paste had a chance to set. However, they didn't have a lot of bulk at this point, so I put down some watered white glue just to make sure that they stuck into the terrain, and then I added some more rocks on top of it to create some convincing alpine rock mounds. Once everything had the chance to dry, I then wanted to get them ready for a black prime outside. To do this, I just took some blue sticky tack and put it on the back of a ruler so that I could attach the wolves and get this done in my garage. Once the primer had set, I then went to focus on the bases. I wanted to keep this pretty simple and straightforward, so I just took 3 different layers of gray and did a heavy dry brushing of them, building up from a neutral gray to a warm gray to a bright neutral gray. Each of the dry brushes got a little bit lighter as each pass went and a little less rigorous. And if I ever made a mistake at any point, I could just start over with the heavy dry brush and then build it back up from there. I did want the brown to contrast a bit more from the rock, so I applied a contrast paint of a green brown to the soil areas of the base. One of the challenges I set for myself for this project was just to get it done as fast as possible and see what I could do over a single weekend. So I stuck to the dry brush for the majority of it, where I first applied a lot of dark brown, building to a golden brown, and then to a beige from below, trying to copy as much of normal wolf colors as I could. And then I came in with a black from the very top just to get a convincing gradient going. Where needed, I did come in with my fine tip brush to clean up any details to make sure that any of the black was covered, and then to blend it all together, I took a makeup brush with some of the intermediate tones to help blend all the layers together. I also knew from the beginning that I didn't want to just make brown wolves, so I also decided to make some black and gray wolves. Using the bright neutral gray to a coal black as I went. This one I just mixed colors more and I didn't worry as much about the beige to brown to black gradient, just a black to bright neutral gray. And ultimately, it just took the same process of getting a makeup brush, mixing the colors around, trying to make sure that the transitions are clean, and then coming in with a makeup brush to help blend in the fur that was upraised into the underlying tones. I did think at this point the ground was a little too green for me, so instead of a green-brown contrast paint, I came in with a brown-green contrast paint to hopefully make it seem a little bit more vibrant and a little less monotone of a miniature. Then for all the wolves, I decided just to do some golden eyes, trying to get that big bad wolf in the darkness aesthetic. I again wasn't too worried about the fine details at this point. I just wanted to get paint down and see where the inspiration took me. And for the pupils, I decided to try to use this Gundam marker just to draw lines through the yellow. I've had mixed results on this in the past, and I think maybe I just need to get better at using it, because I would say about 70% of the eyes I made on the wolves were really good, and then I just had to go back in with the yellow and clean some up as I went along with it. Then for the wolves' mouths, I came in with a red, just making sure to hit everywhere that I wanted to be red eventually. I could then come back in a little bit with a black to highlight and pretty much edge trim the mouths so that you got the wolf gum colors. This really helps it just clean up the overall facial area and bring the models to life a bit. I also made sure to give all the wolves little black button noses. Then to fix up the eyes a bit, I just took the primary tones I painted the wolves with and I pushed the yellow back into the sockets. This, again, I wasn't too worried about details. I just wanted to make sure the size was correct, because as I went along, I could just come in and fix the blends later with my brush. It actually ended up being pretty straightforward and easy. I didn't realize that the highlighting of the eyes was actually a decent amount easier when you use a brush around the face. But both in the brown and the gray wolves received these same treatments of the eyes and the face, and I was really happy with how they turned out with not a ton of effort. Then moving to their teeth, for the top, I just was really careful. They had a little bit of a ridged area for where the teeth were to go, so those were pretty straightforward and easy. And for the bottom teeth, I made sure to make them a bit jagged, as the jaw would be facing the players as you used them. And again, as I went along and made any mistakes, I just made sure to go back in with the other colors and fix them up. And then once I was happy with it, I could paint the sides of the models black. Once the wolves' paint jobs were complete, I could then move on to adding some 5mm winter gamers grass tufts. I wanted these wolves to be running through a barren, snowy area, like a pack hunting a caribou or something. And these tufts were really easy just to pick and peel. Once the overall models had been done, since I'm expecting them to get pretty heavy playtime, I then put them on the ruler again to take them outside for a matte varnish. I gave the varnish 24 hours to set, and then I could go into making a snow paste out of some matte medium and some Woodland Scenics soft flake snow. This, I just apply some of the soft flake snow into a cup and the medium, mix it around until I get a thick enough consistency around a clumpy toothpaste vibe. And then I can just irregularly dab onto the grass and around the bases of each wolf, and I can just use my finger to clean up any spillage over the side. And then once all the wolves have a little bit of snow on their bases, we can then move on to some glamour shots. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you to each of you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe to keep up with my other mini painting or diorama making work. I will get back to dioramas, I swear. It's just going to be mini painting for a little bit right now. And I hope you all have an excellent week, and I'll see you in the next one.